Albania. Somewhere far beyond the edges of familiar maps lies a land that feels quietly whispered about rather than spoken of directly, as if its name travels through the world like a rumor too magical to fully explain. Travelers who return from it rarely describe what they saw in concrete terms. Instead, they speak of sensations, of something stirring beneath the surface, of impressions that linger like the echo of a dream. It is as though the place itself prefers revealing its wonders only to those patient enough to listen, to those who understand that true discovery begins long before you arrive. Albania is that kind of land, half reality, half legend, a destination that stands firmly on the map yet feels suspended between stories and shadows. Before you ever step foot here, hints of its presence reach you in unexpected ways. A name overheard in passing, a half-finished tale told by someone who couldn't quite put it into words, a photograph that shows everything and explains nothing. Even the road leading toward it feels less like a route and more like a gentle descent into myth, as though each mile pulls you deeper into a story unfolding on its own terms. Light flickers across the terrain in strange, delicate patterns, dancing over hills and stone like it's trying to communicate in a language older than written history. The wind carries fragments of something ancient, tones, whispers, traces of memory, yet you can never catch enough of it to truly understand what it wants to say. Hills rise and fall in shapes so deliberate and sculptural that they seem formed by forgotten gods, frozen in their last act of creation. You feel watched, not with fear, but with a quiet, knowing anticipation, as though the land recognizes your presence and is deciding what parts of itself it will show you. Every silent stretch of road feels charged with possibility, like the fragile moment in an epic tale just before the hero uncovers the long-hidden truth. You're not simply approaching a destination, you're approaching an unraveling, a peeling back of time, myth, and memory. Albania does not ask for your attention. It commands it quietly, with the confidence of a place that knows its own power. And once it holds you, once its mountains, coastlines, ruins, and legends slip beneath your skin, the world around you begins to feel like a cinematic dream breaking into reality, frame by frame. Welcome to Wonders of Albania, journeys that feel straight out of a movie. Butrint, Ksamil, Saranda. Butrint is the kind of place that travel documentaries dream about, a site where history unfolds not in textbooks, but in textures, stones, shifting light, and the lingering atmospheres of countless civilizations that once breathed life into this ancient ground. Located near the shimmering waters of the Vivari Channel, the site sits on a peaceful peninsula that once served as a strategic jewel for empires that valued its vantage point over trade routes, naval movement, and fertile lowlands. Its origins stretch back to the Greek colony of the 8th century BC, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited areas in the region, a place whose timeline reads like an anthology of Mediterranean history. Walking along the remains of the Roman Forum, you can almost visualize merchants bargaining loudly, soldiers marching in formation, magistrates debating policies, and citizens gathering in sunlit squares with a sense of purpose that echoes faintly in the air. The ancient theater here is remarkably preserved, with stone rows that still curve gracefully and symmetrically, as if they were designed in a recent architectural revival rather than carved by artisans centuries upon centuries ago. From the top row, you get a spectacular view of the marshlands, an expansive landscape that once protected the city from invaders, yet now offers a serene, almost painterly natural backdrop. The baptistery, with its intricate mosaic floor patterns, stands as one of the most exceptional early Christian structures in all of the Balkans, showcasing craftsmanship that speaks to devotion, artistry, and cultural fusion. Many travelers don't expect how vividly colored the mosaics once were, and local historians love sharing passionate explanations about the painstaking restoration processes that helped bring these ancient images back to life. The Venetian castle adds another chapter to the long narrative of Butrint, its weathered stone walls reflecting the region's era of maritime dominance and the strategic brilliance of Venetian engineers. Some residents like sharing old myths about Venetian ships hiding treasure somewhere near the marsh, a rumor passed down for generations, and one that has inspired countless amateur explorers and treasure hunters to wander the wetlands. Throughout the ruins, random carved stones appear like cryptic messages, hinting at symbolic meanings and forgotten rituals that archaeologists still debate and analyze with spirited fascination. With every uncovered artifact, researchers realized the city's rise and fall was far more complex, layered, and interconnected with broader regional politics than previously believed. The city's geographic position allowed it to control crucial waterways, making it a crossroads of commerce, military strategy, cultural exchange, and migration throughout its long history. Surrounding wetlands create an ecosystem rich with birds, rare plants, and delicate flora, turning Butrint into a harmonious blend of national park and archaeological wonderland. The pathways shaded by ancient olive trees bring a calming contrast to the monumental structures around them, helping visitors feel grounded as they walk through millennia of human heritage. Each structure, from the basilica to the gates, reflects the distinct architectural identity and cultural imprint of whichever empire ruled the land at that particular moment in time. The Lion Gate remains one of the most photographed sections, not just for its historical value, but for its unusual asymmetrical design, carved into massive stone blocks that seem to challenge conventional ancient engineering. Some archaeologists suggest the gate functioned not only as an entryway, but also as a symbolic warning or coded message directed at enemies, travelers, or rival clans approaching the city. The layers of civilizations visible in the city walls show how Butrint was continuously rebuilt, repurposed, and reinvented, each era leaving behind fragments that fit together like pieces of an enormous historical mosaic. Every ruin feels like a curated memory of a society that thrived, evolved, collapsed, and persisted long enough to leave behind structures strong enough to survive thousands of years. The acoustics in the theater still work astonishingly well, surprising visitors who whisper from the stage and hear their voices carry softly to the uppermost rows. The calm water nearby forms a mirror-like reflection of the fortress at sunset, creating a cinematic moment perfect for filming, photography, or simply standing still and absorbing the scene. You'll find that the best way to explore Butrint is slowly, matching your footsteps to the quiet pulse of the ruins and letting the site's timeless rhythm guide your journey. And here's a helpful travel tip. Arrive right when the park opens to enjoy the ancient pathways without the crowds and to avoid the rising midday heat that often envelops the peninsula. By the end of your visit, Butrint doesn't merely feel like an archaeological site, it becomes a layered, living story that continues to unfold around you, inviting you to imagine what new secrets might still be hidden beneath its stones. Gloucester County. Gloucester rises above its valley like a stone tapestry woven by centuries, each layer revealing a different era that refuses to be forgotten, as if the city itself is determined to keep its memories carved into every wall and rooftop. The city is often called the Stone City, and the moment you step into its old quarter, you understand why those slate roofs shimmer like armor under the sunlight, creating a gleaming pattern that looks both protective and poetic. Built along steep hillsides, the entire town feels like a natural movie set carved out for epic historical dramas, where every alleyway seems ready to host a scene from a story filled with intrigue, tradition, and unexpected revelations. Its origins stretch back to the 12th century, though local legends claim settlements existed long before anyone bothered recording history, painting a picture of ancient life that blends fact, myth, and whispered speculation. The massive Gjirokastër Castle dominates the skyline, perched with a quiet intensity that makes you feel watched in the most cinematic way possible, as though the fortress itself measures every step you take through its shadow. Inside the castle walls, every corridor echoes like it's rehearsing lines from forgotten stories, sending your imagination spiraling through centuries of battles, ceremonies, and mysteries. Some visitors swear they've heard footsteps in empty chambers, a rumor locals never fully confirm nor deny, preferring to leave just enough uncertainty to let the legends breathe. The Cold War-era bunker beneath the castle adds a surprising twist, revealing an entire underground labyrinth from a darker chapter of Albanian history that still feels eerily intact. Walking through it feels like stepping into a spy thriller set during tense geopolitical times, with dim hallways and heavy doors that amplify the sense of secrecy. The traditional stone houses, tall and fortress-like, stand shoulder to shoulder along the steep cobblestone streets, creating a skyline that looks like a ripple of ancient towers frozen in time. Each home has an architectural signature: whitewashed walls, wooden balconies, and slate roofs that resemble stacked dragon scales, offering a visual rhythm unlike anywhere else in the Balkans. Families have lived in these houses for centuries, creating a living museum of cultural continuity where everyday routines happen inside structures older than many nations. Local storytellers often mention unresolved tales of merchants, hidden gold, and old family feuds that shape the alleyways, giving the city a narrative depth that feels almost literary. The city's bazaar, with its handcrafted carpets, silverwork, and wood carvings, feels alive in a way modern markets never quite replicate, as if every item sold still carries the spirit of the artisan who made it. Musicians sometimes play traditional songs in the square, adding an unexpected soundtrack to your walk that makes the entire town feel like a scene unfolding in slow motion. Every corner reveals a new angle, a new frame, a new cinematic moment you didn't plan on capturing, making the city a paradise for filmmakers, photographers, and dreamers alike. The architecture blends Ottoman, Balkan, and local craftsmanship into a style that feels strangely familiar yet entirely unique, like a hybrid identity born from centuries of cultural exchange. Even the scent of fresh bread from small family bakeries seems to pull you further into the city's story, reminding you that history here is not just seen, but tasted, heard, and felt. Gjirokastra's history includes poets, revolutionaries, and storytellers who left behind a cultural influence that still resonates through its streets and living traditions. Among them is Ismail Kadari, the beloved Albanian writer whose childhood home is now a museum filled with memories, artifacts, and literary echoes of the stories that shaped him. There's also the Zakat House, a majestic example of the city's tower house architecture that offers sweeping views worth every step uphill, rewarding your effort with a panorama that captures the heart of the valley. At sunset, the city turns golden, and the castle looks like it's floating above a river of rooftops, creating a scene so dreamlike it feels like a painting that has suddenly come alive. This is the moment when Gjirokastra feels truly enchanted, like a place suspended between time periods, refusing to fully let go of the past while still embracing the present. Travel tip: wear good walking shoes. The cobblestones here are beautiful but mischievous, ready to test your balance and remind you that this city was built long before modern comfort was invented. By the time you leave, Gjirokastra stays with you like a mysterious story you can't stop thinking about, a place that captures your imagination long after you've stepped away from its stone streets. Berat County. Berat rises along the Osum River like a sunlit mosaic of white stone, its terraced houses clinging to the hillside in such perfect harmony that the entire city feels like it was painted rather than built. Often called the City of a Thousand Windows, Berat earns its name the very moment you glance at its hillside architecture, where rows of windows reflect the daylight like countless tiny mirrors shimmering in unison. Stepping into the old quarters, you feel as if you're crossing into a living archive, a neighborhood where every wall, stairway, and wooden balcony carries centuries of quiet stories. Its origins date back more than 2,400 years, and the layers of history here, from Illyrian fortifications to Ottoman traditions, create a timeline so dense it feels like time itself folds together. At the very top stands the Berat Castle, An enormous hilltop fortress that still houses families today, making it one of the rare European castles where daily life continues within ancient walls. Walking its cobblestone paths feels like journeying through a medieval village frozen between eras, with churches, mosques, and old stone homes nestled inside its defensive embrace. From the castle's lookout points, the views stretch across the valley in a breathtaking sweep, turning the rivers, hills, and rooftops into a cinematic panorama that feels almost unreal. Inside the fortress, you'll find the Onufri Museum, home to some of the most exquisitely preserved Byzantine icons, each one glowing with gold leaf and the unmistakable artistic style of the master painter Onufri. The churches within the castle complex, with their faded frescoes and ancient carvings, whisper stories of faith that endured wars, earthquakes, and the passing of countless generations. Below the castle, the traditional neighborhoods of Mangalem and Gorica face each other from opposite sides of the river, like two parts of the same historical soul. Crossing the old Gorica Bridge, a beautiful stone arch structure, feels like stepping through a portal that softens the line between past and present. The houses here, built in distinctive Ottoman style, appear stacked almost impossibly on the hillside, their symmetrical rows of windows creating a visual rhythm unique to Berat. Locals love telling visitors that every window has witnessed its own story: weddings, family disputes, celebrations, and long-forgotten neighborhood secrets. In the bazaar area, artisans still practice crafts passed down for generations, carving wood, shaping silver, and weaving textiles that reflect the region's deep cultural heritage. Cafes along the riverbank offer a peaceful break, and the sound of flowing water combined with distant laughter creates an atmosphere that feels gentle, warm, and timeless. As you wander deeper into the alleys, the scent of traditional Albanian dishes, slow-cooked meats, fresh bread, and local desserts drifts through the air like an invitation to stay a little longer. The blend of Christian and Muslim heritage in Berat is evident at every turn, symbolizing a coexistence that shaped the city's character and earned it UNESCO World Heritage status. Minarets and church bells once echoed together across the valley, creating a harmony that many locals proudly recall as the city's most enduring tradition. Even the natural landscape contributes to Berat's magic, with soft hills, olive groves, and river curves framing the city like a gentle watercolor painting. The light at sunset transforms the entire city, washing the stone facades in gold and turning the 1,000 windows into glowing squares that look almost lantern-like. Many filmmakers and photographers consider this golden hour in Berat one of the most cinematic moments in Albania, perfect for capturing slow, sweeping shots. One of the city's lesser-known treasures is the quiet night ambiance, where the illuminated hillside appears like a constellation resting on Earth. Travel tip: explore both Mangalam and Gorica during different times of day. Their colors, shadows, and reflections transform dramatically from morning to evening. By the time you leave, Berat feels less like a destination and more like a peaceful memory etched into your mind. A place that invites you to return before you've even fully walked away. Rosafa Castle, Shkodër. Rosafa Castle is one of Albania's most historically significant fortresses, perched majestically above Shkodër, where three major rivers, Drin, Buna, and Kir, merge together in a dramatic meeting of waters that mirrors the convergence of cultures and empires that once fought to control this strategic point. Its elevated position made it a vital stronghold for Illyrian tribes dating back to the 4th century BC, allowing early rulers to command the surrounding valleys and defend their territories long before recorded history shaped the region's identity. Over the centuries, the Romans fortified the site with their characteristic precision, the Byzantines expanded its defensive rings, and the Venetians later reshaped many of its structures, transforming the castle into a layered architectural timeline carved directly into the hillside. The Ottomans, arriving afterward, adapted the fortress even further, creating a multicultural patchwork of walls, towers, and redesigned corridors that reflect Albania's long and turbulent past under shifting political powers. The main entrance still features exquisite Venetian stonework, showcasing the refined craftsmanship and clever engineering of an era known for its mastery of defensive design. Once inside, you'll find a labyrinth of winding paths, lookout points, fractured stone foundations, and the ghostly outlines of old military buildings that hint at centuries of intense activity. The castle's underground cisterns demonstrate not only impressive ancient water management techniques, but also the ingenuity of builders who needed to sustain entire garrisons within fortified walls. One of the standout areas is the old Ottoman barracks, constructed with thick stone walls capable of withstanding prolonged sieges and harsh weather, a testament to their enduring functionality. The panoramic views from the fortress stretch for miles in every direction, offering a sweeping vantage point of rivers, mountains, fertile plains, and the modern city of Shkodër that sits quietly below. The site also includes the remains of a medieval church later converted into a mosque, symbolizing centuries of shifting religious and cultural influence that passed through the region like waves of change. Today, a small museum tucked inside the fortress displays Illyrian artifacts, fragments of armor, pottery, tools, and ancient inscriptions that reveal how deeply the site was woven into the political and cultural life of early Albania. These discoveries show that Rozafa served not only as a military hub, but also as an administrative center for trade, taxation, and governance that connected communities across the wider region. The fortress wall, though worn by wind and time, remain remarkably intact given their age, standing proudly against the elements as if refusing to surrender their stories. Each section of the castle tells its own chapter of Albanian history, from the ambitions of ancient Illyrian kings to the control of foreign empires that carved their dominion into stone. Visitors often pause at the highest terraces to appreciate how the waterways shaped Shkodër's development, tracing the curves of the rivers like veins that carried life and commerce to the region. The sweeping natural scenery surrounding the castle, rolling hills, reflective water, and distant mountain silhouettes, makes it one of the most photogenic locations in northern Albania. In addition to its historical significance, Rozafa holds a famous legend about a woman who was sacrificed to keep the castle walls from collapsing, a haunting tale passed down through generations. This myth has become a powerful cultural symbol representing dedication, resilience, and loyalty, adding emotional weight to an already storied landscape. Many families in Shkodër grow up hearing this legend, and its influence shapes local identity, giving the site a deeper meaning that extends beyond stones and battlements. Travelers enjoy exploring the fortress because it blends education with breathtaking scenery, offering a journey through both history and nature in a single experience. Travel tip: bring water and sunscreen. The hill is exposed, the walk is steep, and during summer the climb turns warm quickly. But the panoramic reward at the top is absolutely worth it. Rozafa Castle stands today as a monumental reminder of Albania's resilience, multicultural heritage, and the enduring spirit of a land shaped by both myth and history. Theth, Shkodër County. Theth sits deep within the Albanian Alps like a hidden kingdom sculpted by glaciers over thousands of years, guarded by jagged peaks that slice across the sky with such cinematic precision, you'd swear a film director designed the landscape. The journey into the valley feels like entering a long, dramatic film sequence, where narrow, winding roads carve through sheer cliffs, and every hairpin turn reveals a panorama even more unreal, more breathtaking, and more otherworldly than the one before it. Its history reaches back to ancient highland tribes who lived in fierce isolation long before Albania had borders, preserving customs, beliefs, and mountain codes that still echo through the highlands like ancestral whispers. Traditional stone houses with wooden roofs sit scattered along the valley floor, giving Theth a timeless charm that feels untouched by modern noise, as if the village deliberately slows the world down at its borders. The iconic Theth Church, painted white and standing alone in a wide open field, looks like a frame pulled straight from a film about forgotten alpine villages, its simplicity radiating an almost sacred stillness. The Lock-in Tower, once used to protect families during periods of blood feuds under the Qanun's ancient laws of honor, adds a powerful and mysterious depth to the village's cultural identity. Travelers often say they can almost hear the weight of old stories lingering between its stone walls, tales of loyalty, tragedy, and survival passed down like mountain folklore. Theth's geography forms a natural amphitheater of towering peaks, with walls so steep and tall they make you feel like a tiny character in a grand adventure epic filmed in a world untouched by time. The Grunus Canyon slices through the landscape with raw, dramatic beauty, its narrow passage lined with cliffs dripping with moss, ice-cold springs, and thin cascades of mountain water. Nearby, the Grunus waterfall crashes down from a high cliff like a vertical river, sending mist into the air that catches sunlight and turns into glittering particles. The path leading to the waterfall is lined with wildflowers, wooden footbridges, and rocky trails that look handcrafted for explorers, adding charm to every step of the journey. Blue Eye of Theth is a natural spring so vividly colored it seems digitally enhanced, glowing turquoise even on cloudy days, as if lit from below by some secret force. Some locals believe the spring has ancient healing powers passed down from the mountain spirits, a belief that adds a mystical undercurrent to this already magical place. Every hike in Theth feels like stepping into a scene where nature takes the lead role, commanding your attention with its sheer scale, purity, and untamed spirit. The air is crisp and clean, carrying scents of pine resin, damp earth, and cold mountain water that make every breath feel refreshing and grounding. Shepherds still roam the hills with their flocks, their bells echoing softly across the valley and adding to the peaceful mountain soundtrack that defines Theth. At night, the sky opens into an extraordinary starfield so clear, it looks like someone dimmed the rest of the world just so you could witness the constellations in their full brilliance. The combination of raw wilderness and deeply rooted traditional culture makes Theth feel like a place that exists outside of time, suspended between eras and untouched by the rush of modern life. Visitors come for the dramatic landscape, but stay for the deep emotional calm that settles into their thoughts after a day spent wandering through forests, peaks, and rivers. Wooden guest houses serve warm meals made with local ingredients, fresh cheese, hearty stews, honey, and mountain herbs, creating a comforting contrast to the rugged alpine wilderness outside. The valley changes personality with the seasons, shifting from lush green summers to golden, leaf-swept autumns and finally to silent, dramatic snowy winters that transform Theth into a white fairy tale. Photographers adore Theth because every angle, every shadow, and every blade of grass seems perfectly placed for a balanced, cinematic shot. The longer you stay, the more you feel the quiet power of the mountains shaping your thoughts, grounding you, and reminding you how small yet connected you are to nature. Travel tip: start your hike early in the morning. Sunrise in Theth paints the rugged peaks in shades of glowing orange and soft pink that feel like a once-in-a-lifetime moment. When you finally leave, Theth lingers in your memory like a beautifully shot final scene. One so emotionally rich and visually stunning that you find yourself wishing the story had lasted a little longer. Xamil Sarandi. Xamil looks innocent at first glance, just a small coastal village tucked quietly into Albania's southern shore. But the moment you see the water unfold before you, it feels like you've stumbled upon a secret paradise hiding in plain sight, waiting patiently for someone to notice its impossible beauty. The Ionian Sea surrounding it glows in shades of blue that seem too vivid, too dreamlike, almost too perfect, as if someone took nature's palette and tuned the saturation up to levels that shouldn't logically exist. The Xamil Islands rest offshore like quiet emerald guardians, holding their positions with soft authority as they keep watch over the village from their untouched perches. Some locals say the waters between the islands carry old stories, tales whispered by sailors who passed through centuries ago. Their voices said to linger beneath the waves like echoes trapped in salt and memory. The currents here are gentle but strangely rhythmic, almost hypnotic, flowing in patterns that make it seem like the sea itself is breathing slowly in and out. Sunlight bends through the water in shimmering patterns, dancing across the sandy floor as if guided by something unseen and ancient beneath the surface. The beaches curve into perfect little crescents, forming intimate hideaways that feel tailor-made for quiet escapes, romantic moments, or long meditative mornings. When the waves roll in, they leave behind delicate traces of crushed shells that sparkle briefly in the sunlight before being carried away again, like tiny jewels that only appear for those paying attention. At dawn, the entire coastline glows silver blue, turning the sand cold, misty, and ethereal, like a dream sequence from a film where everything feels unreal but deeply comforting. The Casamal Islands look almost otherworldly in the morning haze, drifting between reality and fantasy as soft silhouettes that tease the line between imagination and memory. Shadows stretch long across the water, making everything feel sleepy, slow-moving, and suspended in its own peaceful rhythm. Locals start their day with an ease and calmness that spreads through the village like a gentle wave, creating an atmosphere that makes visitors unconsciously match the slower pace. As the sun rises, the color palette explodes with intensity, shifting from soft pale blues to fiery golds and warm peach tones that drape themselves across the entire coastline. The water becomes so transparent under the brightening sky that boats appear to float on air rather than sea, as if Xamil has temporarily defied the rules of physics. Snorkelers often say the underwater world here feels untouched, quiet, serene, and almost sacred, with fish gliding through patches of sunlight like characters in a perfectly choreographed underwater ballet. The nearby olive groves rustle in the breeze, releasing that earthy Mediterranean scent that blends with sea air and instantly roots you in the landscape. Every winding pathway in Samel seems to lead somewhere peaceful, somewhere softly hidden, somewhere that feels like it was meant to be discovered quietly and slowly. The sea feels warm during the day, wrapping you in gentle currents, but cool and almost mysterious at night as the darkness deepens its quiet presence. Moonlight turns the water into a shimmering silver tapestry, a moving sheet of light that ripples with every whisper of wind and every subtle shift of tide. Couples stroll the shoreline in the evening, their silhouettes blending into the soft glow of lanterns and beachfront lights, creating scenes that look like still frames from a romantic travel film. Even conversations here feel naturally softer, as if people instinctively lower their voices out of respect for the gentle, magical ambience surrounding them. The longer you stay, the more the village feels like a place suspended perfectly between reality and dreamscape, a place that doesn't quite belong to the ordinary world. Time slows, worries dissolve, and everything feels lighter, as though the sea itself absorbs the weight you unknowingly carried in. Travel tip: rent a kayak at sunrise. The islands feel especially magical when the world is still waking up, and the water glows with a purity you won't see at any other moment of the day. Leaving Samo feels like waking from a dream you never wanted to end. A dream so vivid that part of you keeps replaying it even long after you've stepped away from its shore. Shkodër County. If you've ever arrived somewhere and instantly felt like you'd been there in another lifetime, Shkodër is that kind of place, a city that doesn't overwhelm you with spectacle, but instead slips gently into your memory, as if it's been waiting there all along. The city greets you softly with quiet tree-lined streets, warm pastel buildings, and a breeze that smells faintly of lake water, river mist, and old stories whispered by generations who called this place home. There's a tenderness to Shkodër, something in its light, its unhurried rhythm, and the easy warmth of its people that feels comforting in a way few modern cities ever manage to feel anymore. The old district still carries traces of Venetian windows and Ottoman rooftops, subtle details that act like historical fingerprints, reminding you that Shkodër has lived through countless eras without losing its gentle soul. Locals sit in sidewalk cafes sipping strong, fragrant coffee, calling out greetings and waving to friends and strangers alike with a familiarity that makes you feel like you've walked into a neighborhood where everyone already knows your name. Cole Idromeno Street feels like stepping into a cherished memory. The sound of clinking cups, children chasing each other between tables, and distant music drifting through open doorways as if the entire street is humming its own quiet melody. And then, almost without warning, Shkodër begins to reveal its deeper, more intimate side. The Marubi Museum holds entire generations in black and white frames, capturing faces, families, celebrations, and sorrows. Each photograph a small window into the lives of people who once walked these same cobblestones. Each portrait feels deeply personal, like someone leaning close to whisper a story directly to you, reminding you that history is built not from dates but from human faces. Down the road, St. Stephen's Cathedral glows softly in the afternoon light, its pale facade reflecting the sun in a way that makes the entire square feel peaceful and reverent. The city's mosques rise gracefully against the skyline, adding layers of harmony, culture, and spiritual depth that shape Shkodër's identity with a quiet dignity. But it's when you lift your eyes toward Rozafa Castle that the city's story shifts into something more ancient, more emotional. The fortress stands like a memory carved into stone, watching the valley from its high perch as it has for thousands of years, witnessing the changing world below. The climb to the top is peaceful, with birdsong echoing off the hillside and the slow crunch of gravel reminding you to take your time. At the summit, the world opens wide, rivers weaving together in shimmering lines, distant mountains forming sweeping arcs, and Shkodër lying quiet and humble beneath your feet. The legend of Rozafa adds a tender sadness to the place, a story of sacrifice and devotion that lingers long after you descend, like a soft echo in your chest. Lake Shkodër, on the other hand, is a different kind of memory, vast, calm, reflective, and almost therapeutic in the way it seems to mirror both the sky and your thoughts. You can walk along its shore and forget time entirely as the gentle sound of water laps against the stones. The fishermen in their small wooden boats move slowly and rhythmically, as if they've discovered a secret way of living where nothing needs to be rushed. In the evening, the city glows with small amber lights and gentle laughter drifting through the streets, creating a warmth that wraps around you like a soft blanket. Dinner smells rise from alleyway kitchens, roasted vegetables, grilled lake fish, warm bread, and herbs, mixing into an aroma that feels both home-cooked and deeply traditional. Nothing is rushed here. Nothing tries to impress you with noise or grandeur. Shkodër simply opens itself, invites you to breathe, and lets you exist in a state of quiet appreciation that you didn't realize you needed. Travel tip: visit Lake Shkodër early in the morning. The stillness at sunrise is the true soul of the city, a moment when everything feels perfectly at peace. When you finally leave, Shkodër feels less like a destination you explored and more like a memory you're grateful to have lived. Gentle, lingering, and impossible to forget. Tirana County. If you're looking for a city that's fun, colorful, and absolutely bursting with life at every corner, Tirana should be at the very top of your list because it doesn't just welcome you, it pulls you right into its rhythm the moment you arrive. This place has energy, real, contagious, unstoppable energy, and you feel it instantly as soon as you step into the vibrant city center, surrounded by movement, music, and that unmistakable youthful buzz. Skanderbeg Square is huge, open, and bright, offering the perfect space for people watching, relaxing, or capturing those wide-angle cinematic shots that show just how epic the heart of Tirana really is. The National Museum's gigantic mosaic greets you with bold, heroic artwork that practically shouts, "Welcome to Albania," blending history and pride into one unforgettable first impression. Walk a few minutes in any direction, and suddenly, boom, you're right in the middle of cafes, gelato stands, street performers, and crowds of people enjoying the city's warm and lively vibe. Tirana's cafe culture is legendary. You could easily spend hours here hopping from one stylish spot to another, each one filled with chatter, laughter, and cups of strong, aromatic coffee. The street art adds even more flavor to the city. Every corner is bright, bold, expressive, and practically begging to be photographed and shared. The pyramid is a must-see landmark, and now that it's being reimagined into a modern creative hub, it stands as a symbol of Tirana's shift into a playful, innovative, and artistic capital. Don't miss the bunkers. Yes, actual wartime bunkers scattered through the city that have been transformed into immersive, emotional museum experiences. Bunk Art 1 is massive, a full underground labyrinth of tunnels and chambers filled with exhibits that pull you straight into Albania's Cold War history. Funk Art 2, sitting right in the city center, is smaller and quicker to explore, but still incredibly powerful, offering a raw and memorable look into the past. Tirana's food scene is a dream for anyone who loves fresh, flavorful meals prepared with heart. Every dish feels like a warm invitation into Albanian culture. Try traditional byrek, juicy grilled meats, local farm cheeses, and Tirana-style desserts that taste even better when paired with the city's relaxed, joyful atmosphere. The new bazaar is a colorful, lively area full of fresh produce, spices, handmade goods, and small souvenir shops that make wandering through it a sensory adventure. The whole plaza is friendly, energetic, and perfect for taking a midday snack break or sipping a refreshing drink while watching the bustle around you. For a quieter escape from the fast pace, head to the Grand Park, wide pedestrian paths, a big shimmering lake, and pockets of lush green space everywhere. You'll see families picnicking, joggers passing by, musicians practicing under the trees, and couples strolling hand in hand as they enjoy the lakeside breeze. Rent a bike or paddle a small boat on the lake if you want to add a little extra fun and movement to your afternoon. Tirana at night is even better. Bright lights, rooftop bars, live music, cozy restaurants, and a cool, effortless atmosphere that makes the city feel even more alive. The nightlife isn't chaotic or overwhelming. It's relaxed, stylish, and full of good energy that makes you want to stay out just a little longer. Locals love to chat, so don't be surprised if someone starts a friendly conversation with you out of nowhere. Tirana is built on openness and warm social connections. The blend of modern architecture, colorful buildings, and traditional influences gives the entire city a unique character that feels both refreshing and charming. Plus, Tirana is compact and walkable, so you can explore dozens of great spots in a single day without rushing or stressing. Travel tip: grab a seat on a rooftop bar at sunset. The city lights up beautifully from above, and the shifting colors over the skyline feel straight out of a postcard. Tirana is vibrant, easy to love, and absolutely unforgettable once you dive into its rhythm. A city that stays with you long after you've moved on to your next destination. Saranda, Vlora County. If you're dreaming of a seaside destination that delivers non-stop views, incredible food, and summer vibes from sunrise to well past midnight, welcome to Sarandí, a place that feels like someone took every beach day fantasy and turned it into a real town. This coastal hotspot is one of Albania's most loved vacation towns. And honestly, the moment you arrive and see the sparkling coastline, it becomes perfectly clear why everyone keeps coming back year after year. The city sits right on the Ionian Sea, meaning bright blue water stretches out in every direction, creating a backdrop so striking it almost feels unreal. The promenade is the star of the show, lined with tall palm trees, busy cafes, cheerful gelato stands, and oceanfront restaurants that fill the air with the smell of grilled seafood and warm pastries. It's the kind of place where you can walk for hours without realizing it, because every few steps something new catches your eye. Beaches, absolutely. There are tons of them. Some are soft and sandy, some are smooth and pebbly, but all are ridiculously beautiful with water so blue it could be mistaken for a filter. The sea here is crystal clear, perfect for long swims, easy snorkeling sessions, or simply floating on your back while all your worries melt away with the waves. And the best part? Samil and its tropical-style islands, yes, the ones that look like the Caribbean, are just a short ride from the city. Boats leave constantly for tiny private coves, hidden beaches, and island spots where you can claim a piece of paradise peacefully. Sarandia's food scene is a total win. Fresh seafood, perfectly grilled octopus, crisp salads, local wines, and Albanian desserts that hit an entirely different level when eaten by the sea. Lunch with a sea view doesn't just taste better here. It feels like the definition of summer. The city also has some surprisingly impressive history woven into its bright and sunny vibe. The 5th century synagogue ruins sit right near the center. Easy to miss if you're rushing, but fascinating once you step inside and imagine what once stood there. Then head up to Lakursi Castle, perched above the hills, for jaw-dropping views over the entire bay that feel straight out of a drone commercial. It's hands down one of the best sunset spots in all of southern Albania, with golden skies reflecting off the water in every direction. As night arrives, the whole city shifts into an even livelier mood, music floating through the air, people dining outdoors, and a soft coastal breeze that makes everything feel relaxed and perfect. Bars and lounges glow with colorful lights and a chill Mediterranean pulse that keeps the night alive without ever feeling chaotic. Families stroll along the promenade, couples take photos at every viewpoint, and travelers end up staying out way longer than they originally planned. Serendie is super walkable and incredibly easy to explore, which makes wandering through its streets one of the best parts of the experience. Ferries to Corfu leave right from the port, perfect if you want a spontaneous international day trip just because the mood hits. The vibe here is friendly, warm, and totally addictive, the kind of atmosphere that makes even strangers feel like temporary locals. Even simple moments, like grabbing gelato, dipping your feet in the water, or just sitting on a bench watching the waves, somehow feel special. Travel tip: book your sunbeds early during July and August. The most beautiful beach spots fill up fast, and you'll want front row seats to that Ionian magic. It won't take long before Serendie becomes one of those places you know you'll return to, a sunny memory that keeps tugging at you long after you've left its shores. Durrës County. The first time you step into Durrës, there's this strange, gentle feeling of familiarity, like you're returning to a place you somehow forgot you once knew, a feeling that settles in quietly before you even realize it. Maybe it's the smell of the sea drifting across the sunlit streets, wrapping around you like a welcome you didn't expect, or the sound of waves echoing through old alleyways, as if the ocean has been whispering here for centuries. The city feels warm, not just in temperature, but in the way it gradually opens itself to you, slowly and sincerely, as if it knows that real charm is always revealed in layers. Old stones peek out between modern buildings, like fragments of forgotten stories reminding you that time moves differently here, stretching and folding in ways that make past and present feel inseparable. The ancient Roman amphitheater sits nestled among everyday houses, so casually placed it almost feels like part of the neighborhood. A quiet giant resting in the middle of ordinary life. When you walk inside, the air shifts and feels heavier, filled with memories, echoes, and emotions that never fully disappeared from the curved stone walls. Grass grows through cracks in the stone, softening a place once filled with roaring crowds and dramatic voices, turning it into something tender and contemplative. The city's waterfront holds its own peaceful charm, families strolling together, music playing softly through windows, and boats rocking lazily in the harbor like they've settled into an endless afternoon. The Adriatic Sea glows under the sun, spreading a wide, endless blue that seems to calm every thought the moment you look at it. Durs is a city that wears its history like a comfortable sweater, old, familiar, slightly worn at the edges, but still undeniably beautiful. The Venetian Tower stands quietly over the square, a round stone fortress that has watched storms, invasions, celebrations, and summers drift by without ever rushing time. Strolling through the narrow streets, you pass tiny bakeries releasing the smell of fresh bread, small family shops with open doors, and fruit stands overflowing with color. The Archaeology Museum feels intimate and personal, filled with artifacts that look like they were held, used, and cherished by real hands long ago. Mosaics shimmer softly under the lights, telling stories not with words but through delicate patterns, symbols, and colors arranged with ancient intention. Locals hold on to traditions gently, weaving old customs into their daily routines without ever needing to announce or perform them. Restaurants overlooking the water serve meals that taste fresh, honest, and comforting. Simple flavors that feel like they've been perfected over generations. Even the wind feels warm as evening settles in, brushing past you like the city itself is exhaling after a long day. Durrës isn't loud or attention-seeking. It simply invites you to stay a little longer, to wander without purpose, to let time unfold at its own gentle pace. It's surprisingly easy to lose track of time sitting by the water, watching boats drift by in quiet rhythm, like pages of a story turning themselves. The city's beauty lies not in grandeur or spectacle, but in the effortless way it blends centuries of history with the softness of everyday life. Every street feels like a gentle reminder to slow down, breathe deeply, and let small moments matter again. Travel tip: visit the waterfront early in the morning. The peaceful stillness, soft light, and empty shoreline create a memory you'll carry with you long after you leave. When you finally go, Durrës feels less like a place you visited and more like a soft memory etched into your heart, warm, lingering, and quietly unforgettable.